Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of The Bridge, the official 10-7 Capital podcast. My name, as always, is Tyler, and this is our founder and CEO, Timnihill. And what do you got going on in the background there?
Where? On my phone?
No, on your TV.
Oh, Sabres, Minnesota, baby.
We got a whole bunch of monitors.
Hockey's back in Buffalo.
We got a whole bunch of monitors in the studio. And there's a
Casual Saturday.
There's a Sabres game going on in the background.
Sabres at 12:30. Liam's at 1:30.
And then I think
Bill's at 4:30.
Yeah, Bill's.
And then Liam again at 7.
His kid plays hockey.
Casual Saturday.
Proud hockey dad.
Don't have to do anything but hang.
Yeah, pretty much.
This Saturday sponsored by Waterloo Sparkling Water.
Yeah, you wish.
Raspberry nectarine.
You wish. He loves his seltzer. But, no, I mean, I think this is, if anything, it's a pretty opportune day just because, you know, sports are in the air. It's a pretty opportune day to talk about, you've been mentioning a lot, especially in our more recent content about sports franchises and just getting into that whole world in general. You know, what kind of led you into that?
Oh, you want to talk about investing today?
Just a little bit.
Yeah, let's talk to people about investing in 2026. Isn't it amazing how many stamps you need on a can to tell you that you're not drinking something that's poisonous? It's crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stamps. What a waste. That's our food chain. So, let's talk about investing. Yeah, where do you want to start? I mean, we could...
Well, I was wondering how you got into the whole world of getting into sports franchises.
Oh, sports franchises are new. Okay, so...
Because you've been talking about that a lot recently.
Yeah, because... all right, so... investing is actually really easy, right? All you have to do is go outside and pay attention to what people are buying. And the most important thing right now, where all the money is going, is to this box right here, right? So there is a massive battle that goes on to capture people's eyeballs, viewership, content, right?
Ratings.
I mean, look at Matt Damon and Ben Affleck were just on Joe Rogan talking about how Netflix has changed the way they do films because you have to be action-packed up front to capture people's attention, and at the same time knowing that if they're watching your movie on Netflix, they're also on their phone at the same time on Instagram. So then you have to repeat what you're doing in the dialogue 5 times because people aren't really watching the movie and paying attention.
Those two are doing the rounds right now. I think they just got interviewed a day or two ago by Jade Cargill.
Hey, bring the Boston boys back. I always love Damon and Affleck. So, let's talk about viewership and why one of our focus points this year is on sports franchises, right? So I go on Google Trends, and 12 out of the top 14 things that are Googled right now across the world, or maybe in the U.S., are 12 out of 14 are sports related. Mostly European football, Buffalo Bills, because the Bills have a massive following. So do the Sabres. Go Sabres, by the way. And don't let anyone tell you Buffalo's not a hockey town. We're hockey town first, football second. Obviously, shout out to Bills Mafia. So, if I have 12 out of 14 things on a casual Saturday that are all sports related, that tells you what people are watching and viewing, right? And the TV contracts for all sports across the world are massive. Like, it's massive money. So, we've, taken it upon ourselves to find investments that we're jazzed about this year, and sports franchises are one of them. I mean, if you own a sports franchise, it's second to owning and being at church from a tax perspective. And the cash flows on these things, I mean, they're just cash cows. They're tax havens and cash cows. It's awesome. And I mean, if you look at Buffalo, the Bills are spending $2.1 billion on their new football stadium, right? Because Ralph Wilson is shut down and they're moving over to the new Highmark Stadium, I think they're calling it.
Mm-hmm.
$2.1 billion, half of which is paid by New York State taxpayers.
No kidding.
Yeah. So as the owner, I'm only paying for half my new stadium. And then the cost of it, obviously, the Pagulas are successful. So they have made a lot of money on that franchise and are starting to make money again on the Sabres, right? So they're only paying for half the stadium, and then if they spend $1 billion, they're writing it off anyways because it's a tax deduction. So it's football is just one example. So like I got a casual Saturday. What am I doing today? I'm just hanging out at my house, eating some great food, relaxing, and doing nothing, and I'm just going to watch sports all day. Because why not? That's what I like to do, right? It's kind of like my zone out time.
Mm-hmm.
So when you look at it, like the NFL, they have a new TV deal that's going to get negotiated, I think, in 2 years. And then on top of that, you have the National Hockey League, right? Big time viewership in hockey. You have European soccer and football, European football, if you will. Massive viewership. Cricket in India, massive viewership. Hurling and rugby in Ireland, and rugby in Australia.
Do we want to get into
sports are massive. So, from my perspective, I'm like, well, shoot. How do we kind of get into this world of investing, right? And then it just so happens that my buddy calls me up. He goes, "Hey, I work at a firm, and we have this sports opportunity fund, and one of the teams that we have part ownership and access to is the Buffalo Bills." Right? So this is, by the way, for people that are accredited investors, so you can look that up. You have at least $1 million in net worth or 150, 250 grand in income. And then you have qualified purchasers, which is 5 million net worth and up. They have, we can bring the sports franchises down to someone that's an accredited investor. And then once you become and hit qualified purchaser, there are other multiple strategies that you could have access to that are growth related, income related. But you have the opportunities to say, hey, I invest in, 2 football teams. Could be the Buffalo Bills, could be I call them the San Diego Chargers, but the Los Angeles Chargers, right? A couple of hockey teams are in the fund, a couple of basketball teams. So now when you're watching sports and betting on DraftKings or whatever, you're right. You're basically participating in your own investments, and that's why I say investing is really easy because you should start by participating in what you spend your money on.
Mm-hmm.
Like when I had, your 4 younger siblings basically all in diapers at the same time together. Guess what? It was a real good idea to own Procter & Gamble and Pampers diapers because the dividend on the stock was me paying myself back.
Mm-hmm.
But when we looked at the opportunities for this year in 2026, it's content and viewership. That's where all the money is going. All the money is going to the capital. It's all going to technology.
Mm-hmm.
It's all going robotic. So you have to position your money in those sectors. And then from there, as an investor, you got to get out of the public markets. You're not making money in the S&P 500. And guess what? Do you have access to sports franchises in the S&P 500? No, not really.
So if anything, investing in sports franchises is not only lucrative in and of itself, but really just a great way to get out of the public markets.
It's one strategy that's there, right? And when you look at the opportunity, and there are no guarantees, but you're looking at it and say, okay, if you look at basketball, the NBA, their revenues have grown year over year for 20 straight years. Outside of 2 years where they had to do collective bargaining and COVID was kind of, everyone got beat up in COVID. So it's just one of those things where the thing that people have to change their mind on, and it's a point of view shift, is you have to understand that you're not making money in the public markets. You're losing money in cash, you're losing in bonds, and you're losing in equities. You're not making money. Divide the S&P 500 by money creation, and guess what? You'll realize you're losing 3% a year over year. You're not generating wealth. And everyone's so brainwashed on tax-deferred retirement accounts and 401ks and Vanguard indexing and low-cost investing. It's all bullshit.
Bold statements only on this channel.
And the people that have the real experience in this world, that have been in this world for 25 plus years and have seen it from the inside, when people like me are telling you to get out of the public equity space, it means get the hell out immediately. What is about to happen in the United States is going to decimate people financially this year.
But the sports franchises are going to be good.
Sports franchises are great. Technology is great. The next wave of technology and AI, it's where all the money's going. All the capital's getting sucked out of the public markets, and it's all going private. So if you're sitting there and you have a 401k and you have hundreds of thousands of dollars in this thing, or these leftover annuities and stuff, like, now's the year you have to change.
It's a very casual Saturday.
It's a very casual Saturday.
So how do
but
you...
I mean, it's you're reading the tea leaves.
Yeah,
just
pretty much.
pay attention, because everybody's addicted to this.
So how do you get into this? Is a question. I mean, you mentioned.
Well, yeah. So how do you get into it? Well, first you need at least $100 million on your own, or you have to find firms like us that can do this.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if I'm a big institution, for example, or I'm an uber wealthy person, do you think I buy an index fund? No. All my assets are in private investments.
Yeah.
Right? That's why the Grant Cardones of the world are popular. That's why rich guy, poor guy are so popular. People are looking for new ways to invest. Right? And they woke up and realized that financial planning is wrong. The mathematics are 100% incorrect in the financial planning world. It's all bad math. And the problem is, people are waking up to this now in two ways. One, the older generation that's retired that are all broke, that had financial planners, but now they're in retirement communities and they won't get a call back from their financial planner because that guy's either retired or they don't meet the firm's minimum.
Or they're working as cashiers at Shaw's.
Right. So you have an entire generation that learned a very, very, very important lesson about currency debasement and the value of a dollar over time. And the only way, as Tony Robbins is trying to demonstrate to people when he talks about this stuff, is the only way you create wealth is by investing in private assets. So then if you're out there and you don't have $100 million, well, I just told you we can bring those same type of strategies all the way down market, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you have to find people like us, because the financial world spends billions upon billions of dollars marketing to you through the boxes. And I mean, look at sports. Look at the backgrounds of all the hockey rinks. And I mean, we went to a UConn basketball game last year.
Yeah.
And it was riddled with advertisements.
Oh my God.
To the point where it's mind-boggling.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's at least 7 or 8 advertisements on just behind the red line of the hockey rink.
Mm-hmm.
It's about content and viewership.
I mean,
Thanksgiving Day, the NFL had 50 million eyeballs on football.
That's true. No, I mean, there used to be, you know, a sort of philosophy in sports, I feel like, until very recently. And some sports were quicker to change than others, but there used to be a philosophy, you know, like certain parts of the arena, certain parts of the rinks and the fields and all that stuff, you know, you would put ads in certain areas and you wouldn't put ads in certain areas. But like obligatory wrestling mention, for example, there was a philosophy for decades until I want to say like last year, really. It may be the year before. You know, the mat is sacred. You know, you don't put ads in the ring. They would do that in Japan. They did that a lot in New Japan Pro Wrestling, but like the American promotions, they wouldn't put ads in the ring. And then WWE got its Netflix deal, and they got their ESPN deal, because, again, it goes back to streaming, and it goes back to the competition for ratings, and now there's ring ads all over the place, and they got Slim Jim branded tables that they put people through.
Right. And that's what I share with people on the investment side, too. It's like, you don't have to know what you're doing, just work with the right people. But people are starting to wake up and to realize, like, hey, you know what? I'm not actually making money. And when you're sitting on millions and millions of dollars with a traditional advisory firm, and your price of steak just went up 30% per pound, and you're looking at your little index portfolio, and you're paying a person 1% to allocate you to a couple things, you're sitting there starting to look at this and be like, something's not right here, right? And like when I talk with people, first of all, there's so many mistakes people make in investing, and the first and foremost is being cheap. If you're a cheap investor, means i.e. you buy index funds and you think you're making money with Vanguard and Fidelity and the like, you're not. You're broke. Your money's not making you money. You're losing money. And yeah, I would question why I'm paying someone 1%. Mm-hmm. We don't charge 1. We charge more. Because we're not those people. Those people actually are clients of ours. Because we do stuff they can't do. They can't. Advisors don't have access to this stuff. They don't want access to it. It's hard work.
Are there any traditional firms that even suggest sports franchises, or do they not even bother?
It's just not a category that they get into. You have to remember, too, like a lot of these investments that are private, these are, I would call, sleeve strategies. And you have an open window with X amount of capital available to the public through different investment channels, and that's it. Because you have to realize that the firms that are also running these programs, they're the actual owners too. Mm-hmm. So what I tell people is, and that's the other thing with the public investment stuff, like you don't have ownership of anything, right?
Yeah.
But what we do is we take people and we put you next to the owner. You become an owner. That's how you generate wealth.
What's the famous phrase?
Shit, Minnesota scored again. Damn it.
I know they're
I had
doing
a bad
good.
feeling about this game today.
They're doing really good today.
Saturday matinee.
What's the famous phrase though that a lot of people like to joke about, that the outlook of like traditional and legacy platforms is like, you will own nothing and be happy?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, they have a great sales. It's all based on behavioral finance, the green line and all that good jazz. I mean, it looks pretty, but it's worthless.
Yeah, if you want something that looks pretty, just go into sports.
Right. Like, and you should be asking yourself this question. Okay, so if I go to Starbucks every day, do I own Starbucks? And I don't mean just the Starbucks stock. Do you own a Starbucks? Physically.
Yeah. My first investment ever was in Apple because I have Apple devices all over the place.
Right.
When I was a kid, that was my first investment.
Right. And so if you look at it and you want to do this properly, you take basically, I say, half of your assets, put it in all private investments that are growth-oriented, income-oriented, they're tax-efficient, where your traditional shop is going to get you 3 to 5% income. We're going to take that number up to 9 to 17%. Mm-hmm. Right? So if I just took a fixed income and went from, on average, 3 to 5%, and I'm pushing it up to 9 to 17% in income year over year, do I really give a crap about how much I'm paying for that? Because these numbers are net of fees. Like, do you want to drive a Toyota Prius or do you want to ride in luxury?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
In a Bentley or a Mercedes-Benz. I ask that people all the time because they're like, well, how much do you charge and blah, blah, blah. I go, it doesn't matter. You're never going to notice our fees anyways. Mm-hmm. Right?
You only notice the fees.
Did your financial advisor get you into Bitcoin at 20 grand? No. Then why are you still talking with your advisor?
You only notice the fees when the advisor isn't making you enough money where you need to worry about the fees.
Right.
If your advisor is a good advisor, they're going to be making you such money where you don't even need to worry about the fees.
Right. You should pay for performance. People in the United States have money backwards. They think they can hoard their way to wealth. You cannot hoard your way to wealth. That's the problem. And the younger generations are waking up to this, and that's why there's about the wealth transfer, what I see, it's $124 trillion wealth transfer that's going from the older generation to the next generations.
Yeah.
That $124 million is not going to financial advisors and financial planners. Mm-hmm. They're done. They're gone. It's going to family offices like us and asset managers.
Because they're no longer necessary.
They're not necessary. And everyone's waking up to the fact, including advisors that have retired because they realized what garbage they sold their clients for 30 to 40 years and that none of it works.
Wait.
All the financial planners are waking up to this. And then you have the Trump administration that's saying, we're going private investments into 401ks and everyone's investment account. They need the capital, man. Capital's got to go to technology, and it's got to go to the next generation of finance and wealth. Content, distribution, artificial intelligence, technology. And by the way, your US dollar will not be around in 5 years.
Yeah, of course.
If you go into my wallet and take out cash right now, I mean, you might as well throw it away because it's worthless. And everybody knows this.
The dog's snoring.
I know the dog snoring is crazy.
So cute.
Apparently our topic's not good enough for him.
He's having a little too casual. Having a little too casual Saturday.
What's this song? I think when he falls asleep and snores, I think of the song from the movie The Hangover. What do tigers dream of when they take a little tiger snooze?
Sounds like he's crying.
It does. He usually chases rabbits or something. So, yeah, I mean, look at this. You have 8 advertisements alone on the boards behind the red line at a hockey rink.
Yeah.
So, pay attention to that. If you want to be an investor, just look around you. See where the money's going.
Well,
Watch
on the
what people are
boards,
spending their money on.
On the boards, there's always been advertisements for years and years.
And even the NHL is advertising their own app and exclusive player content.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we should have. We should have a section of our website we'll call exclusive player content. But if you want to focus on really starting to build wealth, you need to pay attention and get your investments out of these traditional structures and investments and getting it into wealth creation vehicles.
Yeah, and we've said that a lot, but sports franchises are just one example of many. I mean, that's just one that came up today, but
yeah, I mean, there are so many opportunities. You have the next generation of real estate. You have warehouses that are huge. These new data centers that are getting built. We love energy across the board, and not electric and solar because it's an absolute waste of time. Like, could you find 2 more inefficient ways to distribute energy? Like, anyone that has an electric car and thinks an electric car is a good thing and safe for the environment, it's no offense, you have no idea what you're talking about.
It's just a different mode of consuming energy.
Have 10 times the half-life of like uranium.
Yeah, it's literally, it's just a different mode of consuming energy. I mean, I know people who have electric cars. Like, they're not terrible, but to say they're, significantly better than, like, a gas car is just disingenuous.
Way better.
It's disingenuous.
Right, but you're going to get the next generation. There's going to be hydro, right? Hydro is really good.
Mm-hmm. Algae.
Huge in Georgia. There's algae. And then there's nuclear. Like, was it Meta just bought, 3 new nuclear reactors for their headquarters?
Be careful not to say the word nuclear. The Europeans are going to start shaking.
Yeah, the Europeans. So it's like, okay, you have energy, which is going to be a big deal, and then when you look at all these different, technology centers and all these data centers that are going through, well, they need oil, they need gas, they need energy. So that's a big industry to get into too. And then when you're on the private side versus the public side, it's huge because you get so many tax deductions and offsets and efficiencies to it. Like, when you become an owner and an actual investor, the entire Internal Revenue Code is written to encourage private investment.
Talk about that. How does that work?
You're all incentivized across the board. If I want to do, carbon offsets, I'm incentivized to do carbon offsets. If I want to own sports franchises, I'm incentivized to own a sports franchise, right? Like, I can buy a franchise, depreciate the value, take annual tax deductions based on player contracts and all that good stuff. Like, you're incentivized to be a creator and an investor. You're not incentivized to be a saver. Right? Like, being a saver gets you killed. That's why financial planning doesn't work. You're buying a 401k and you're saying, okay, I'm not going to pay taxes on $100,000 that I'm going to put in the 401k, and I'm going to grow it over time, grow it, but I'll pay taxes on the $1 million it grows to. It makes no sense. And people are taught, well, you're tax deferred today, so you're paying later when your taxes are lower. No, your taxes are not lower in retirement, first and foremost. Mm-hmm. They're higher, and so is your spending. Second of all, they don't take into account a 13% depreciation value over cash and purchasing power, which means your lifestyle, the cost of staying in the same lifestyle over a 30-year period of time increases for 13% year over year for 30 years. Do the math. You can't make enough money to retire in this country. Mm-hmm. It's a sham. The retirement is a sham.
You haven't been able to make enough money for years and years at this point.
Like my buddy Trent said, who sold his business and stopped being a financial advisor 5 years ago, said, he goes, retirement is a concept invested by the financial industry in order to accumulate assets and charge fees. Because retirement is, and young people know this, the concept is a scam.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, like...
It's fraudulent.
I would even say some old people are starting to understand it. Like, if you look at...
They're living it.
But I mean, if you look at the amount of people of age who are properly, like, entering into retirement, so to speak, it's going down and down and down.
I would say, right, but it goes back to private investing again. Look at the Buffalo Bills, for example. Are they more profitable today versus 50 years ago? Absolutely. The numbers are astronomical.
Yeah.
Could you imagine Ralph Wilson in 1953 if you told him, hey, by the way, one day you're going to build a stadium here and it's going to cost you $2.1 billion, although he's not alive, but the franchise? He would have looked at you back then and thought you were crazy. But private investing works over time.
Yep.
Think about the investments that have been around for thousands of years. There's a reason why insurance companies are still around. That's another thing we're focused heavy on is estate planning and insurance as an estate planning tool. Mm-hmm. And getting your assets out of the public sector into private assets and then securing them for generations.
I mean, I think no matter what you invest in, I think the ultimate goal is you got to get out of public.
Right. You got to get out of public. And then I get a lot of people asking me this question too of like, okay, how do I qualify if an advisor is good or not? Did your advisor buy you Bitcoin when it was 10 or 20,000? No, then he's fired. She's fired.
That's an easy question.
It's an easy question. Why don't I have Bitcoin? And if your advisor didn't get you in already, then they're fired. That qualifies them to be fired immediately and on the spot because you don't have an advisor. Mm-hmm. And you won't have to worry because they're not going to be there in 5 years anyways. The older generation of advisors are retiring. The next generation of finance is going to asset management and family office. And it's going away from traditional financial planners, who, as Rich Dad and Poor Dad says, they're basically out of work retirement or out of work teachers that wanted a better gig to make more money. Mm-hmm. I played golf with one. He's like, yeah, I'm an advisor now. It's my 8th career. 8th career, huh?
You don't really... Why would I hire someone who that's their 8th job? Like, yeah. I would want to hire someone who's, like, been in it for years and years.
And I had the conversation with him about crypto and the blockchain and didn't have a clue. I said, good luck, because you're going to be looking for a 9th career real soon. And that's the other thing, too. Like, in my side, for me, I'm done with, kind of like... How do I want to say this? Let's just say I'm a lot more direct about things now.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not, like, as they would say, pussyfooting around stuff anymore. I'm not wasting my time.
Yeah, because the time for honeyed words was, like, however many years ago. At this point, the line has been crossed.
The line's been crossed, and you don't have time anymore. 2026 is the year that traditional finance goes away. And for everyone who's been buying the board for the past 5 to 7 years, they win. And firms like ours win. Mm-hmm. And they're out there saying it. I mean, go watch Tim Draper, go watch Mark Moss, go watch Rich Dad Poor Dad, go see Grant Cardone, even see what Tony Robbins is telling you. Stop listening to David Ramsey and Susie Orman. Terrible. They're terrible financial professionals. Dave Ramsey's not even a financial professional. He's a content guy. It's horrible investment advice. Horrible. Millions of people are getting bad advice. But it looks pretty.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day they wake up in a retirement home and they're broke and they can't get a call back because they don't meet firm minimums anymore.
Yeah.
So I would rather own the board. Sports franchises are a lot of fun. Real assets are a lot of fun. And it's understandable, right? Like, if I came to you and said, okay, we have, Dunkin' Donuts, for example, up in New England's big.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Well, it's big everywhere, but
Big everywhere.
There's a lot of them here.
Right, but everyone runs on Dunkin'. And if I say to you, well, why don't we put a sleeve of 40 Dunkin' Donut franchises in your investment portfolio? I'm pretty sure you'd understand that. And then if I said, by the way, here's one in your backyard that you now are part owner of, well, I'll probably go to Dunkin' Donuts there because I'm getting a return on my money.
Yeah. You're
right?
You're paying yourself.
So focus on what you're spending your money on. Start there. And then don't buy it through the public markets. Go private.
Yeah, I think the biggest myth that a lot of people who want to get into investing come to think and convince themselves is that investing is super complex and super difficult to get into. It's not. It's just not.
No. And the reality is, when you look at what's happening in the trend, it's going to be very, very unstable for a while. The years in this age of regulation that we've all lived in is going away. We've lived in highly compliant regulatory world for 1,000 years, and it's all going away.
Mm-hmm.
So then you have to say, okay, I got to really look at things from a global perspective. I can't be so just focused on the U.S. anymore. I have to have my money without borders, boundaries, and limitations. And I have to be sovereign and private. Because being sovereign and being private is where the wealth is, and it's where the capital is going.
Yeah.
And it's needed from an individual and business perspective.
Yeah, I mean, putting aside the fact that, you're born and raised a Buffalo Sabres fan, it's even easier and even more fun to root for them when you literally are, part owning the team. Like, those are, in essence, your boys.
Yeah, I'm probably going to buy an extra hat or two.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I born and raised in Buffalo, and...
Like, are you the Pagulas? No, but, like, you have a stake.
I have a stake. And guess what? I'm probably a little bit more prompt to buy extra hats and jerseys and sweatshirts come holiday time and birthday time for everybody.
Which helps the team.
It helps the team. Go Bills. Go Josh Allen.
I was talking about
Good luck in Denver today.
I was talking about the Sabres.
Sabres? Listen, it's exciting to have hockey back again.
Mm-hmm. Well, the Bills are doing good, too.
I can't wait to see what trade is going to happen with Jarmo Kekalainen as a new GM.
Yeah.
I mean, you want to talk about just being a reinvigorated person and hockey fan. And, yeah, I mean, they're on the cusp of the playoffs, and they haven't, and the new GM hasn't even put his stamp on the team yet.
I tell all my friends, like, what's the biggest joke in Buffalo? And they're like, what? And then I just go, the Sabres.
Not anymore.
Yeah, that joke is already outdated ever since Kekalainen came in.
Yeah, and people forget. They're like, oh, Buffalo doesn't win championships. Like, stop it, first of all. By the way, we have the most, kick-ass indoor lacrosse team of all time.
Well, I think just
what a sport that is.
The past however many years with the Sabres have just been so discouraging that it's just like, I mean, I have a friend who's a big Leafs fan, and the Leafs always get killed in the playoffs, but at least they usually make the playoffs. So I say to him, like, hey, listen, man, I know you hate that the Leafs never win a cup, but at least they're in the playoffs. Like, come on.
I don't know. I think that's just as bad. I mean, the Maple Leafs, yeah.
I would rather just get into the playoffs. Like, as long as we're in the playoffs, I think that's an achievement. Because,
well, we haven't been there in 15 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, Krebs.
Yeah, exactly. So just us making the playoffs is, I think, enough to start off with.
Oh, and what people don't understand in Buffalo, like when you have a good hockey team, that place goes bananas. I grew up in the old Memorial Auditorium where you would be slapping the wooden chairs so hard, like your hands nearly bled. And it was so loud, like your ears would ring for days.
Well, Buffalo sports fans in general are just on another level. I mean, literally, there are other organizations, other teams that do studies and send people to Buffalo to like look at Bills Mafia and see like what are they doing to organize, what are they doing in fan culture that we can replicate.
You can't. You can't replicate what Buffalo has. And it's the same, similar for Green Bay and the Packers. It's too organic.
I don't even understand how Green Bay has a team. It's like a small town.
Oh, it's a great town. It was funny. I was there for work one time. I didn't even know.
Does Milwaukee even have a team? I don't even know.
The Brewers.
They're not that big of a team.
Oh, the Brewers are a great baseball team. I always liked the Brewers. Yeah, so like I remember first time at Lambeau Field, I was at a light, and then I look to my right, and I look up, I go, holy crap, this is Lambeau Field. I had no idea. I wasn't even paying attention. And I ended up doing lunch there later that day, and my buddy got these cheese curds, and they were so big,
Wisconsin
and so cheesy.
cheese.
I'm like, dude, I ate 2 of them, and I think I was full for 2 days.
To be fair, Wisconsin is on another level in general. I think if you look at a map, I've seen maps where it's like amount of where it's like the drinking rate in like all the different counties.
Yeah.
And it's like most of the country except for major cities is like pretty low, and then as soon as you cross the state line into Wisconsin, it's just dark red.
Yeah. I have a friend of ours, and my brother's best friend growing up, and they're still best friends, basically. He's an owner of a restaurant down in Atlanta, which is also like a Bills bar. These are all Buffalo guys. They sell more Labatt Light Blue through that bar and restaurant than any other place in the Southeast. It's awesome.
The Bills, the Buffalo, I mean...
It's culture.
Bills and Sabres fans are just like, I feel like they're just everywhere. Like, there's a ton of Bills fans here in
We're
Maine.
everywhere. Yeah. Buffalo fans travel. And the thing about it is, and this is why you can't replicate what a city like Buffalo has from a sports perspective, because when you grow up there especially, these teams are your blood. Like, you're a full participant in the organizations from a community perspective, right? I can't tell you how many times we had, different Buffalo Bills and Sabres players come to our schools, and we were all hockey players. As soon as winter hit, man, get on the rink, get out in street hockey. We were playing hockey, even into the summers.
And also, Buffalo's cold enough where you can literally just play on a pond.
We had pond hockey, street hockey. I mean, when we would come home from school, I couldn't throw my bag in the hallway fast enough and get down to my buddy Mike's house because he had the double and triple wide driveway, and we used to have we were outdoors. That was it. As soon as we got home from school, we dropped our bags off and we played hockey until we went to bed.
But this is exactly the point. Like, there's all these stories here there's all these stories here and all this culture in regards to sports franchises and sports organizations.
Right.
And I mean,
you might as well have. That's why Green Bay the Packers are biggest, because it's a community-owned franchise.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a big deal. And when you look at content, like I just said on Google Trends, man. It's
full circle.
It's full circle. It's European soccer, club soccer. All right, they just tied it up 3-3. Way to go, boys. Yeah, Jack Quinn. He's playing so much better since he came back from injury. But yeah, it's like, it's across the board. It's hockey, baseball, soccer, football, basketball. Like, this should be part of your portfolio. And in order to get these strategies, you need at least $100 million in cash and the hope that someone's going to pick up your phone. Or you could just call people like us that know how to bring them down market.
Exactly.
Right? So, yeah, great. If you have your traditional public allocation, 50% of your money needs to go private now and go to crypto. So there's maybe a handful of us out there that are capable of doing this.
Mm-hmm. And we'll talk about that more in general, in particular the public-private dichotomy in future episodes. So stay tuned for those as well. Any final remarks you want to add on?
Go Bills, go Sabres.
Yeah, pretty much. This is a Buffalo channel. This is a Buffalo channel.
This is Sabres and Bills land.
We're sorry, but we're not sorry.
We'll talk Buffalo Bandits one day too.
Oh God, help us all.
You know the Grateful Dead, their favorite place to play was actually Buffalo, New York.
Makes sense.
Yeah, crazy.
But
go Josh Allen.
But yeah, I think we've crossed the bridge for today. So as always, my name is Tyler.
Yeah, Tim Nihill. Good to see you guys.
And hope to see you all soon. Look forward to it, and thanks for watching.
Cheers.